we made a promise to each other that even when we have kids, that we would make sure that we would put each other first. Now, that can be, for some, I'm sure, that have kids, you're like, oh no, my kids come first. Well, guess what? Them kids will be gone. And you know what? Who you have to live with? That person. Well, I have to live with him. And so we made a conscious effort to put each other first. And even when our kids came around, we made sure that we put each other first. And we did not feel guilty about it. Our kids knew and they understood from a very, very young age that that was important to us, and it makes us better parents. And I didn't care what they said. I didn't care how much they cried. We are going to take care of each other first because it makes us better for each other. It makes us good role models for you as children. So get over it.
Wow. So get over it. I believe, and I love what they said. It's a very important subject that a lot of parents are not paying attention to.
Absolutely. Like this right here, whether if it's stepchildren or real children, the kids need to understand because they will get grown.
Yeah.
And they will have their own family.
Definitely.
But you two as a couple need to stand strong together. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you don't need no one to come in between your marriage. That's how a lot of marriages break.
Yeah.
When you calling your mother and father and you're complaining about your husband. All that stuff is just like bringing people into your marriage and, oh, your kids are number one over your husband or your wife. It's not good because it can bring like a lot of confusion and a lot of hatred, disrespect, jealousy. All of that can happen. And a lot of couples need to go back to the biblical ways of being in a marriage. The Bible says, leave your mother and father and cleave to your wife.
Yes.
Okay, that's biblical.
Yeah. And a lot of people, like if you have so much burden in your marriage, even if it's just kids or parents or whosoever, have a good conversation. Have a good conversation with your wife so that it won't be like you just taking things out of the marriage. And when you tell all these people about your marriage, they will hate your spouse. Then when you connect back to your wife or your husband, you guys are not cool. Those people will not understand anything. Even if you're like, oh yeah, everything is cool, they will still have that hatred because you're the one that already planted that hatred, and now there is no way you can fix it. So it's really very important, two of you one before anything.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing like you need to compromise about. No, it's you, your wife.
Yes. Here's another video that went viral because you hardly hear a man saying this out of his mouth, and it's hard to also I was just surprised that he said this on a video.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I gave him a round of applause. Let's watch this video.
My wife comes before everything and everyone. My wife comes before my children. My wife comes before my mother. My wife comes before my father. My wife comes before my brothers and my sisters. If my mother can't get along with my wife, if she cannot respect the boundaries of our home, then guess what? My mother is not allowed in our home. If my father does not like my wife or disagrees with my wife, or he makes my wife uncomfortable in any capacity, guess who else cannot come to my home? My father cannot come to our home. If our children are of age, 18 years of age, and they're disrespectful, or I feel like, right, rather they are our biological children together or they aren't, if they're not making my wife feel comfortable in our home, guess what? They have to go as well. Nothing comes before my wife because I am going to grow old with her. She is probably going to bury me. Come see me live in New York City, February 15th. We are 14 days away from my live podcast. Tickets are available in the bio.
Yeah, it feels so great when you hear from somebody like this. Okay, I got this. A lot of people don't know this, and I believe a lot of homes has just been messed up because of this little information. And a lot of people lack this. A lot of people don't believe this. It's just a lot to learn.
Yeah.
When you keep growing, at least look in your family, look in, your parents, or look around. You see, everything ends up being you and her together.
Right.
The key is gone.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. If I could go back and read all the comments on this particular video, it was wild. People were just so happy that he said it out of his mouth. And they were saying that more men need to think this way.
Yeah.
I've seen some situation where the mother-in-law has taken control over the marriage. The husband is, he don't know who to side with. He don't know who to side with his mom. He don't know who to side with. He's so confused. And the mother wants to feel like she is the wife or she's the special one. If men go back into the biblical ways of you supposed to leave your parents and cleave to your wife. Not saying that you can't take care of your mom.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't you should be disrespecting your mom. No, respect your mom. But it is boundaries that need to be set. It's especially with your kids as well. Boundaries need to be set. And mothers can do that too. Mothers can put their children over their husband, and that's not right.
Yeah.
And we see that often in today's society, that the children is controlling the bedroom. Kids are still sleeping in the bed with their husband. How can you cuddle and be with your husband and spend time with him when the kids are in the middle? Every time your kid calls, you have to answer. You have to come to every beck and call. Meaning, I like what he specifically said, 18 and older.
Yeah.
Okay, because when they're younger, a lot of things is got to be some compromise in there, and the husband is going to understand. But 18 and older, they're grown. They're grown. I've seen a lot of examples where the husband is so close to the daughter that he is pushing his wife aside. And I've also seen some examples of the mother is so close to the son that she's pushing her son to a side. And then everybody is not expecting that somebody's going to get jealous or feel left out. We have to look at ourselves and correct it.
Yeah.
Because marriages are getting broken because of that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be best friends with your daughter? Why? Why would you want to be best friends with your son? Why? You can have a great relationship, but who you need to be close with is your husband or your spouse.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff like that. And I remember when me and my husband first got married, a prophet, several prophets, was like giving us encouragement on our relationship. And they would say, if you both don't agree, don't do it.
Yeah.
If I don't agree, we shouldn't do it. If my husband don't agree, we shouldn't do it. We should come together and agree. When we come together and agree on these two things, or the situation, we should do it, because agreement is good. But if y'all both are at odds with something, you should just leave it alone. And that has helped us in our marriage. Okay, so
I know a lot of people need to just build from that, focus on that, and also trust God in all things.
Absolutely.
Just trust God, give it to God. If it's so difficult or hard for you, pray about it, and God will definitely give you the heart to just slow it down and move with your spouse.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.